Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. I'm going to spend a bit of time today going over something that I was thinking about that I think could be a similar tactic used before. Now, this has to do with Tommy Robinson and how he was just kicked off Facebook permanently, and Mohammed Shafiq, who had a hand, and a proud hand, as he says, in kicking Tommy Robinson, off the platform. So, I want to start by going over the tweet that Mohammed Shafiq did. Then I will go into the memorandum context. And after that, we're going to read the actual memorandum piece, and I'm going to show you how very same tactic that the Muslim Brotherhood wanted to use in America has just been launched on to Tommy Robinson in the UK. And we all need to stand up against this, because if we don't, they're gonna take out the Tommy Robinsons of the world first, and then they're gonna come downstream, and they're gonna go after the smaller ones until they get to me, microscopic little fish in the big YouTube tank and social media tank of exposing this, and they're gonna come after me. And by the time they're down to me, that means that everybody else will have everything banned around them. So you will have lost all of your freedoms. Sorry, this is like my 8th time recording this video, so my throat is getting really rough by now. And I refuse to leave and go get a glass of water because I'm just like, I just want to get this done. All right, guys. Okay, so let's go over this. I want to cover the tweet first. So, okay. Oh, I guess I should give more context around Tommy. Tommy just had over the past weekend, so just a few days ago, he showed in front of the BBC head offices his new documentary, and just a few days later after that, he's all of a sudden banned. And at first, when I was reading that he was banned from Facebook, I thought, okay, well, the BBC's clearly threatened because he has too many subscribers, right? The BBC, they're paid by tax dollars, and they can't keep the attention of the British population, so they're trying to take out anybody in social media that's taking away viewers from them. And Tommy Robinson is one of them. So I thought they're just going to go after him for that. But then I started looking into the news, into what was happening, and I saw a couple of other YouTubers who mentioned this tweet from this Mohammed Shafiq guy. So, maybe I need a break of water. Hold on, guys. All right, I'm replenished. I'm good to go now. Okay, here's the tweet from Mohammed Shafiq. I can reveal I recently had a meeting with Facebook to discuss #Tommy Robinson pages and their impact in brainwashing his supporters to become terrorists and use violence against Muslims. A very good result, and I'm proud of my role. First of all, nobody's ever produced any evidence that Tommy Robinson has incited hate or violence against Muslims and has encouraged his supporters to become a terrorist. There's no evidence of that. And if there was, he would already be in jail for hate crime, because it's a punishable offense in the UK now. So there is no evidence that he's done any of this. So I would, I wish that if you're going to be banned for something, banned from Facebook, at least they'd have an ounce of evidence against you. But when they don't, it just shows the totalitarian ideology behind this. So it's, yeah, very alarming from my perspective. So, okay, after this tweet, I'm thinking, wait a second, we have a Muslim who partnered up with a Western organization and banned a Westerner for life from a platform. I've heard this before. I've read this, like I've heard, and then what comes to my mind is when the Muslim Brotherhood said that they're going to sabotage us with our own hand. So anyways, we'll get to that, I promise. So one thing I don't like about this is we have an established way of life in the West. And now we have a Muslim coming here to the West. The West is non-Muslim. And they are dictating to the West how to behave. So if you guys don't think this is a problem, just wait a few years and let this grow. You'll see it'll become a bigger problem than you can even tackle at that point. So let's go back to that memorandum, which it was discovered, it was written in 1991, but it was discovered in 2004. And I'm going to give you the context in which this was discovered, because Muslims are always telling me, especially when I read the Quran, but when I talk about Islam in general, they always say, oh, well, you're taking it out of context. So what is the context that the memorandum papers were discovered in? So here we go. In August of 2004, an Alert, Maryland Transportation Authority police officer observed a woman wearing a traditional Islamic garb videotaping the support structures of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and conducted a traffic stop. The driver of the vehicle was identified as Ismael El Barras and detained on an outstanding material witness warrant issued in Chicago, Illinois, in connection with fundraising for Hamas. The FBI's Washington field office subsequently executed a search warrant on El Barras' residence in Annandale, Virginia. In the basement of his home, a hidden sub-basement was found. The contents of the sub-basements proved to be the archives of the Muslim Brotherhood in North America. Among the 80 banker boxes worth of documents discovered, there were papers that confirmed what investigators and counterterrorism experts had long suspected and contended about the myriad Muslim American groups in the United States. Nearly all of them are controlled by the Muslim Brotherhood. Therefore, in accordance with supremacist Islamic doctrine known as Sharia, such groups are hostile to this country, its constitution, and freedoms. The documents make clear the group's sole objectives are to implement Islamic law in America in furtherance of reestablishing the global caliphate. So that's the context in which the memorandum was found, and the memorandum's name, the full name, is an Explanatory Memorandum on the General Strategic Goal for the Group in North America. And here's the part that I want to read, because I want to show the connection on how what happened to Tommy Robinson is the exact same tactic that the Muslim Brotherhood warned they were going to use against America. The process of settlement is a civilization jihadist process with all the word means. The Muslim Brotherhood must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within and sabotaging its miserable house by their hands and the hands of the believers, so that it is eliminated and God's religion is made victorious over all other religions. So, the process of settlement is a civilization jihadist process. So the Muslim Brotherhood is telling America there, well, they're telling themselves how to behave in America. They basically are saying, do a civilization jihad. So that means, and remember, this was discovered in 2004. This is right after 2001, where we had the Twin Tower attacks, the Pentagon, and the Pennsylvania field. So people were on high alert back then, but it seems to have died off. But the civilization jihad just simply means, we're going to do this in every way that we can. We're going to advance the jihad, whether we do it by taqiyya, which is a form of lying, or if we want to bomb you. Trucks of peace came out as a result of the civilization jihad. Any way they can do to advance Islam, strike terror in the hearts of the non-believers, this is what they're going to do. So, this is exactly what happened to Tommy Robinson. They are sabotaging the miserable house of the UK, which the miserable house really means like the freedoms, everything the West represents. That's what they refer to as the miserable house, basically because it's non-Muslim. And sabotaging it by their own hands. So that means using the elements in Western society to turn it against each other and to sabotage it from within. So that means the Muslims have the help of the West to sabotage us. So when you look at a Muslim in this case, so Mohammed's Shafiq went in with Facebook, a Western organization, and took down another Westerner who was simply speaking out about Islam. This is civilization jihad. This is sabotaging our house by our own hands and the hands of the believers. To me, this is such a replica tactic I wouldn't be surprised if perhaps the Muslim Brotherhood was actually behind the Mohammed Shafiq thing too. Like maybe they're working. I don't know. I don't know. All I'm pointing out, and I'm just pointing it out, it's not even my opinion, I'm pointing out, the tactic they used on Tommy is the exact tactics that they wanted to use in America, and that they put a memorandum together to explain to Muslims how to take down our own miserable house, sabotage our own house by our hands. This is what's happening, guys. It's happening. So if we don't speak up, if we don't realize, if we don't wake up, it's not going to stop at Tommy Robinson. It's gonna escalate further and further and further until there will be no more non-Muslims. It'll be a full-on takeover of the Western world by Islam. And again, I know I say this at the end of each video or somewhere in the video, and people are like, you don't have to say a hashtag every... Yes, I do, because I don't want in 10 years, the establishment media or whoever's in power at that point to come to me and say, Julie incited violence against Muslims. Lock her up. She clearly has hate speech. I don't think it's all Muslims. It's not all Muslims. Very, very many of them are peaceful, and many Muslims are actually truly non-Muslims in the West. They just can't really leave the religion because that means abandoning their whole family. It's a lot more complicated than just leaving Islam, and I totally understand that. I can see it. I have a lot of Muslim ex-Muslims as friends, and I know their stories, and it is a very tough situation to be in. It takes a lot of strength to get out of Islam, and when you're in a country where you've just immigrated here and your family is Muslim and you want to get out of it and you know nobody else, it's a very big deal. It's a very tough thing to do. So we cannot put all Muslims into one boat and say they're all the same, because some of them are on our side. We just don't know about it yet. So I don't want to antagonize those Muslims. I want them to know we're on their side. They can join us anytime and we're here to support them. But there are a lot of Muslims that will be in the other camp, unfortunately. And we cannot just ignore them. We cannot ignore the Muslims that are going to be doing civilization jihad on us. And I believe Mohammed Shafiq is one of them. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think, and I will see everybody in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.